Hello. In this video, I'll try and introduce you to one aspect of circadian rhythms. Now, what that means is circadian rhythms, probably if you look it up on Google, maybe, what you may get is that it's the body's response to the day and night cycles or the environmental factors. Yeah. And their influence on our body. Now, if we consider that our body is also functioning by cyclical patterns, just like after the day comes night and after night comes day. That is in those parts of the globe where you do see the sunlight so many hours of the day, and then nighttime so many hours of the day. There are some places where there is like 24 hours sunlight, or 24 hours darkness. So and they change through seasons. Nevertheless, we have 24 hours in a day. Yeah. And it's also said that about some place in Antarctica, all the timelines meet, and that's where you don't know. You could be in any of the time zones. So according to the geography, the clock and the calendar may show different numbers, different timings. Yeah, our body, nevertheless, functions in a cyclical pattern. There are cyclical patterns in our body. Inhalation has our breathing has inhalation and exhalation. Yeah. Our muscles expand and contract. Yeah. Um, After we do some work, after some time, we do need to rest. And after we rest, after some time, we do need to just move around, because that's a natural process. You can also call it as sinusoidal rhythms, up and down. So there are ups and downs in life. Yeah. What goes up comes down, what comes down goes up. So there, and it's not just going out of the bandwidth. There's a certain rhythm to it. What healthy natural breathing makes available when you're practicing it the right way is brings a certain rhythm to it, where you're not going through spikes and sharps, and there comes a harmony and a balance between the ups and downs. Yeah. So in this video, I will introduce, okay, I need to say this. There are many cyclical processes in our body. Heartbeat, for example, the lung beat, or the movement of the lungs, and we have two lungs. Yeah. There is the expansion contraction of our muscles. Yeah. In an alive person, the bones are also juicy. Yeah. Fascia, for example, or different body composition, nerves, they also get tensed and they also are relaxed. For example, you could be on nervy, really like charged up, so to speak, restless and a little zzz, yeah. So different tissues, different body systems have their own way of functioning and maintaining health. And they are healthy or not, depending on how well they've been maintained. Just like a vehicle. For example, the tire. When you're working with the tire, when there's sufficient air, it's properly taken care of, the vehicle functions in a particular way. Yeah. Similarly, the oil in the vehicle, when it's regularly serviced, regularly cleaned and maintained, then the vehicle functions in a particular way. Less grease, yeah. Well-oiled wheels. Similarly, our body, when the cyclical processes are functioning well enough, then there wouldn't be noises or jangles, jarred. One system not so functioning as well with the other. They're well coordinated. That's also how a healthy body functions. And then there are degrees of health. So you not having a disease does not necessarily mean that you're healthy. because you could be somewhere in between, having some symptoms, but it's not yet under the label of a disease. Yeah, which means some threshold of normal, but not, you can't completely say, you may have to have points of reference by which you're saying how healthy are you? For example, you can care about your daily activities, but what's the goal you're working towards? Yeah. What is it you're waking up every day for? Or the food you're eating is you're just stuffing something, you're doing work, but it's okay to, you just eat something and just get to work. So to that extent, some things are paid attention to, something is not. So conscious, subconscious, unconscious, supraconscious levels of health, mindfulness, degrees of awareness, and what you're working on. So there are different levels of um, paying attention to health in that sense. So the Shri Chakra offers several perspectives in in a certain order. So you can pay attention to different levels of health. You can also pay attention to different aspects of health. So you have a frame of reference from where you can then work towards making things better. And that includes your relationship with yourself, people around you, community, then culture, ethnicity, nation, continent, globe, the universe at large, multiverse. So, depending on how much is our container, the capacity of our ability to contain the matter or think about the matter or work towards those different aspects, is also how health may be paid attention to. And that doesn't mean, oh, from 0 to 9 to 90 to 10, 100,000 to some of these numbers may seem, oh, big. But that's also talking about each of us are in different levels, different stages of development. How much can we contain the matter? What all can we think about? Which is how, like a seed, takes some time, has a container, can contain certain information, certain aspects of life, which a sapling contains which is different from what a tree can contain. And then there are many kinds of trees, yeah, different levels of growth. A creeper, for example, yeah. Um, so, so there are many stages of development. So what information, what kind of care, what can you care about is also different stages of the container that you are, what you can contain, yeah, and function in such a way that health is maintained without there being any variations in, yeah, diseases. The diseases could be coming from your different ability to contain the matter. It could be at a physical level, at an emotional level, at an intellectual level. I call it Pisces. Physical, intellectual, spatiotemporal, conscience, emotional, and social consciousness. Now, all this became a lot of information. Now, if all of this seemed like a lot of information, it could be that it's called as a koshas. So that is again, there are many categorization for what you can see. Yoga people call it as Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manonmaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, Anandamaya kosha. I also call Shabda kosha because of our relationship with words is also an important part. So when I put my way of thinking onto the Shri Chakra, that offers solutions to also issues which we haven't been able to address because some of the ways by which we have been relating to the Shri Chakra or how we see the information that the Shri Chakra can offer may not have included several paradigms of thinking. Yeah. Um, which is why I keep referring to my version of the Shri Chakra. Yeah. In this video, we will cover a little bit on one aspect of our body by which you can begin to get a little more familiar with the circadian rhythms or the cyclical patterns. A body has many, but we begin to warm up to what do I mean by that? Yeah. For that, I invite you to bring your attention to your chest and notice if there's any movement about your chest. Notice any movement about your chest as you're breathing. Now, this may be a natural rhythm. You may have to pay attention to your chest and notice if there is any movement that you can sense. For example, close your eyes and notice if there's any kind of movement that you can notice about your chest as you're breathing. For example, as you're breathing, there is lungs inside your chest, which is expanding and contracting. And that movement pushes against your rib cage, which again pushes against the muscles of your chest. So there is likely to be some movement because you're breathing and lungs are expanding and contracting inside your chest. So pay attention to any gentle, rhythmic, natural movement, which you are not making it happen, which is naturally already happening from your body. So pay attention to that gentle, rhythmic, natural movement of your chest as you're breathing. This is also from the lungs being connected to your chest, being connected to your muscles, being connected to your bones, being connected. So it affects your posture. So gently pay attention to the left and right sides of your arms. So this forms the left and right sides of your body. And notice any sense of tension between the left and right sides of your upper arms. Because if your posture is affected, in the sense, if I'm doing this, then the left arm versus right arm is likely to have a difference in tension. Yeah, because the posture is affected. And when I straighten my shoulder, there's likely to be a more finer balance in the tension between the left and right upper arms. Now, this would need to be felt. So if you're having a difficulty feeling, try closing your eyes. It may become easier for you to feel the tension in your upper arm muscles. And try paying attention to see if the left and right side upper arm muscles tension is similar or is there any difference. If there's a difference, try adjusting your posture. Try moving your shoulders a bit and see if that brings any further balancing between the tension in your muscles of your upper arms. Now, gently bring your attention to your chest. And again, pay attention to your chest in terms of softness. Notice any sense of softness in your chest while you're noticing any gentle rhythmic movement of your chest as you're breathing. Paying attention to softness may make it easier for you to pay attention to the gentle rhythmic movement of your chest. Also, maybe paying attention to warmth makes it easier to pay attention to softness, which then makes it easier to pay attention to the gentle rhythmic movement of your chest while you're breathing. And notice if just paying attention to the warmth, to the softness, to the gentle rhythmic movement of your chest itself makes a difference in how you're breathing or in the quality of your breath. Is there a deepening of your breath? Is there a lengthening of your breath? Is your breath getting longer by any chance? Is there a sense of relaxation which was not there earlier since when you began this exercise? Paying attention to your body in this manner. And notice if the lower part of your rib cage is in some way relaxing while you're paying attention to the gentle rhythmic movement of your chest, to the warmth and softness of your chest, and the balance in the muscle tension between the left and right upper arms. On that note, we will pause for now. This is a gentle introduction to a certain aspect of this cyclical rhythmic pattern that's there in our body. Slowly, for example, as you're walking, or you're sitting, or you're studying, or you're even eating, I would recommend this in some way while you're eating, and I would recommend that you eat slowly. So you're not going to, you're not gulping something and then you're paying attention to your chest, and you don't want food getting stuck somewhere. Yeah. So eat slowly, take small morsels. Chances are food tastes better, or you're able to appreciate food better because you're mindful of your own body's rhythmic patterns, your own body's breathing patterns. When you're eating food, for example, slowly and more mindfully, the different digestive processes of in your mouth, of saliva, for example, your breathing patterns, your bodily awareness patterns, your nervous system, for example, better digest the food you're eating, better appreciates the food you're eating. And therefore, there is also a verse in one of these sacred texts that say, when you eat, all breaths eat with you. So I invite you to pay attention to your chest, gentle rhythmic movement of your chest in terms of softness and warmth. And notice if food you eat today, whatever you eat, is there a difference in your experience of it? Yeah? Is there any difference in what you notice you're eating? Yeah. And if possible, make some notes in a OneNote or your book. Over time, you're likely to notice something more. As you note, it's like catching the comet as it flies. So there's a thought, there's something that you observe now. When you're jotting down, when you're writing down what you notice, over time, what you notice tends to get better because you're not just letting it pass. It matters to you. And it matters enough for you to matter it down, write it down. And it's not just a thought, but something that is now there in existence. You created it onto a paper, written it down. Thank you so much for your kind attention. I hope this has been of value to you. Good day.